who are in the United States Congress who are pushing a false choice which suggests you're either in favor of the Second Amendment or you want to take everyone's guns away. And it's a false choice. I'm in favor of the Second Amendment, but we need an assault weapons ban. We need universal background checks. We need red flag.
The midterm elections in the rearview mirror. Joe Biden is just top of the White House officials. They're just now negotiating while the clock is ticking for a government shutdown. For weeks, Biden's top deputies, led by the Office Management Director Shalanda Young, have navigated the dynamics of election season. In simple terms, this is what it means. According to CNBC News, many Americans are scared by retirement. Barely half of working-age Americans believe Social Security will provide them the same benefits that are paid to today's retirees. More than two-thirds of Americans fear that workers cannot save enough money on their own to achieve a secure retirement, and countries around the globe face the same demographic challenges of aging populations. Fox reported that low birth rates and increased lifespans are straining the finances of the government and retirement programs in nearly every developed country. So the SSA started distributing these December payments this week. This month, you should be able to keep an eye out on the letter for the Social Security cost of living increase. The letter will have details about your individual benefit rate, also for next year. In January, you'll get the first benefit increase amount. For those who receive SSI, you'll get yours COLA benefit by the end of the month. And according to sources, Social Security supplies a source of income that retirees deem necessary to make ends meet. Since 2002, anywhere from 80% to 90% of annual surveyed retirees lean on their monthly payout to some degree to cover expenses. Although Social Security is the U.S.'s most successful retirement program, having provided retired workers benefits for 82 years, it's on a shaky ground. And as the sustainability of Social Security payouts come into question, it's lawmakers who come into focus, specifically Biden. And since retired workers' payouts began in 1940, the Board of Trustees has released a report each year. It examines the financial state of the program. This often lengthy report takes into account demographic changes, fiscal policy implemented by Congress, and a multitude of other factors to look for how firm the Social Security program is. At a time, the projected long-term cash shortfall is great. The 2022 Trustees report estimates that Social Security has around $20 trillion in cash, and around 90% of its revenue is collected by Social Security. It comes from the 12% payroll tax. And with Social Security's dilemma, well known, Biden has laid out a plan to strengthen the Social Security program. The core of Biden's proposal involves getting more payroll tax revenue, as well as increasing benefits for age beneficiaries and lifetime low earners who need the most. The most notable change proposed by Biden involves collecting more payroll tax from higher earner workers. And now in 2023, all earned income up to $160,000 is subject to the payroll tax. Wages and salary below that are not subject to tax. And Biden's plan would even reinstate the payroll tax on earned income above $400,000 while creating a donut hole between the maximum taxable earnings cap and $400,000. So since the maximum taxable earnings cap increased over time, this donut hole would eventually close and subject all earned income payroll tax to the payroll. So the issue with the CPIW is that it tracks the spending habits of urban wage earners, not the beneficiaries of Social Security. Since the CPID is specifically tracking the expenditures of seniors, it should result in a more accurate benefits. The average value of each claim is $2,000. Last year, about $4 billion in property tax was returned to the rightful owners. While each state has its own rules that govern the process of claiming the property, you can count on being required to prove that you are the rightful owner. For example, providing documents confirming your identity. States often try to locate people as well, for instance, matching the owner's information to a tax return. And according to officials, state treasuries get new unclaimed property turned over to them every single day. Officials are encouraging people to check their missing money in a national cleaning house for unclaimed assets, and most people are participating in this. The IRS may have some extra money for you, and the tax agency has announced that more than $500 million in outstanding refunds remain unclaimed for the 2019 tax. The agency estimates that more than 1.5 million taxpayers might have qualified for a refund but did not file a federal income tax return for the 2019 tax year. If you were to do a refund, you must file a federal income tax return to get your money. Things are a little bit different this year. You have more time than usual to claim the 2019 refund. That's because the normal filing deadline to claim refunds is typically around the April tax deadline. But the filing deadline, everybody, for 2019 tax returns wasn't normal at all. It was postponed to July 15th due to the crisis. The IRS estimates the midpoint for the potential unclaimed refunds for 2019 to be $893. That means half of the refunds are more than $893 and half are less.
Tonight, money is on the way to millions of Californians to help ease the pain of inflation. The stimulus payments are part of the state budget deal just announced last night. The checks are designed as tax refunds. Families could receive up to $1,050 through direct deposits and debit cards. APIX5's Lauren Toms breaks down how it works and spoke to Bay Area families about whether it will actually help.
Barring a refining disruption, I'm hopeful we can get to $3.49 between Halloween and Thanksgiving. He also added that there's an outside chance the national average reaches a low of $3.29. There's no major hurricane in the Gulf Coast or more refinery outages. However, analysts also warned the decline could slow temporarily and even turn higher in some areas like California and the Midwest.
Administration have cast some blame for the rise in prices on oil companies. They have pushed back.
Demand has risen. We've had the price shock of Russia invading Ukraine. There are various factors that go into the price of oil, but we're not setting that price.
Analysts say while the pain is very real right now, they believe prices will eventually go back down.
When you look into the forward markets in terms of where the market is trading oil and gas months from now.
Folks, there's a ton of news about the fourth stimulus payment that you're going to want to know in this video, so continue watching. So folks, here is the news that you have to know about the fourth stimulus payments because there's a ton of news to cover. If support is growing for more stimulus checks this year, economists have even confirmed that the vast majority of Americans should receive additional stimulus by the end of 2022. So while the crisis began early 2020, the aftermath is still hanging around with the inflation rates affecting so many Americans. The government actually started sending out payments up to $1,200 and followed by $600, and now we're needing $2,000 stimulus payments just for people to get by. And according to a recent survey, the government immediately following the second round of payments, Joe Biden came into office and launched the American Rescue Plan and provided $1,400 payments. So millions of people, lawmakers, and Congress continue to advocate for another round of relief. Because due to higher than average inflation rates this year, according to a survey, 62% of Americans are in favor of more stimulus in 2023. While the majority of the population is in favor of relief, 16% remain undecided and 22% are not in support of stimulus. Due to higher than average inflation rates, Americans have had to cut back their spending, and so many states took it upon themselves to provide this stimulus aid. As of now, 19 states have approved a bill to offer tax refunds to their residents before the end of 2021. So these payments range from $50 to $3,200 just for eligible people. And now, folks, many qualified Americans in the state of Alaska will receive a $3,200 direct payment. The Alaska legislature adopted a budget earlier this year and includes $3,200 in payouts for qualified people by the end of the year. And according to the Alaska Public Media, the first round of this direct payments has actually begun to arrive in bank accounts this past fall, and paper checks are also continuing to be sent out. State officials have said that increased payments are necessary to do and deal with inflation, and rising energy prices and gas must be put down. Some states are obligated to disperse any excess funds, with residents instead reinvesting the money into the economy. So when it's